Hey everybody, Rosematter here, and welcome to part 16 of my Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works Let's Play. Last episode is kind of like the final night before the big fight, and depending on which version you watched, the Patreon or the YouTube version, two very different scenarios, but the gist of it being that Rin has given her magical energy to Shiro so that he is able to stand up to Gilgamesh potentially, or be able to unlock his true power. So with that out of the way, we are heading into the final fight, the final day of the Holy Grail War, and I don't know how long this is going to be. I promise this is going to be longer than the last episode. I know the last one was a little bit on the short side, but we've got the final battle here. It always tends to be really intense and lengthy, which is exciting. I love the final fights, or at least based on the, the first route I did was awesome. So I'm very excited to see how this one's going to go down. Whether I break this into two parts, I'm not sure. Also, there are actually two endings to the Unlimited Blade Works route. There's the true end and the good end. So either way, it's going to be a little bit longer, so it probably will be at least 2 episodes, but I know you guys are hyped for this final fight, and I certainly am too. So without further ado, let's get back into it. It's a path you can barely call a road. Tosaka must have researched it beforehand as she goes up without hesitation. At night, the mountain is dark and ominous. It's natural for the sacred mountain to reject people. The dark mountain is threatening, but it's an embodiment of the pure gods at the same time. But
尋常じゃないわね、これ。生臭すぎて吐き気がする。
Tosaka stares up at the summit where the Ryoto temple is. Smelling bloody is just a phrase Tosaka used. There's no smell of blood coming from the mountain. It just feels strange. The air is damp and it sticks to the skin like a membrane. The place is suffused with a life force so strong that I can't tell if the breathing I hear is mine or the mountain's. I feel like I'm climbing up a big living organ rather than a mountain.
今更だけど、シロ、体の調子はどう?
Then, Tosaka suddenly asked me such a question.
いや、調子はいいんだが、悪いというか、正直持て余してる。
I honestly tell her, I can easily project dozens of weapons with this amount of magical energy, but it's like having a jet engine inside of a worn-out plane, so the fuel might leak out and explode if I let my guard down.
うわ、贅沢な悩みね、それ。けど、ちゃんと成功してよかった。初めてだったから心配だったのよ。
心配？もしかして、本当は綱渡りだったのか？家
庭じゃなくて、その後の話よ。シローに分ける魔力と、セイバーに取られてる魔力のバランス。2人分の掛け持ちなんだから、セイバーの出力が落ちてるのはわかるでしょ？
そうか。そうだよな。じゃあ、セイバー、思うように戦えないのか？
あのね、甘く見ないで。そんな不手際はしないし、セイバーに比べたら、シローに分ける魔力は小さいから、なんとかやっていけるわ。ただ、無理は効かないの。今のセイバーは、1回しか聖剣を使えない。
Oh, she can only use it once, so before it was twice.
聖剣が一度しか使えない？
Then we can't use the Holy Sword against Gilgamesh. That's where I come in. Saber's noble phantasm has to be saved to destroy the Holy Grail.
じゃあ、セイバーは切り札を封じたままでギルガメッシュの足止めをするのか？
ええ。だから少しでも早く合流しないとまずいわ。セイバーがギルガメッシュを止められないと判断した場合、聖剣を使うようには言ってある。けど、そうしたらセイバーに後はないの。セイバーの聖剣でなければ聖杯は壊せない。だからその時は。
My breathing stops. In short, she will have to use her holy sword at the cost of her existence.
トサカ、それは。
仕方ないでしょ。これはセイバーが言い出したことなんだから。私が止めたって、彼女は聖杯を壊すわよ。
Tosaka murmurs as she looks away. Damn, how stupid of me. It must be hard for Tosaka as well. Tosaka doesn't want Saber to disappear either. Then...
急ごう。ギルガメッシュにセイバーは渡せない。
当然よ。私のセイバーだもの。あんな奴に殺させないわ。
We run. We know what we have to do. We have to stop the Holy Grail as fast as we can and go settle the match with Gilgamesh. The mountain is rumbling, the sky is filled with dark clouds, and the trees are rustling as if shivering with fear. She watches it all at the entrance to the mountain gate. She understood the Ryodo temple was poisoned the instant she approached it. The golden servant isn't the only one waiting for her at the top of the stairs. Something strange is waiting for her. She cannot afford to make a mistake. The mountain is a place of death, and she will draw all the risk to herself. She wants the other two to make it out alive. She cannot hold anything back. She can only use her holy sword twice. She understands she will disappear the instant she activates the holy sword for the second time.
構わない。もとより捨て身でなくてはかなわぬ相手だ。
The king of heroes, Gilgamesh. She cannot think of anything else but to use the holy sword against that man with 1,000 noble phantasms.
じゃあセイバー、30分経ったら始めて。
She recalls Rin's words. It is only one more minute until the appointed time. She breathes out and sets her condition. Is Assassin still around? Has he disappeared after Castor has disappeared? Or is he still sticking around? I mean, he doesn't have her around anymore. He can do what he wants. Wind blows down from the mountaintop. The instant the trees shiver against the evil wind, she starts up the stone steps. She runs up in a flash. Her attack must have been detached the instant she stepped onto the stairs. Or detected. The last servant should appear at the temple. She'll get to him as quickly as possible so she can defeat him before Shiro and Rin arrive. She cannot disobey her master's order. She started off after waiting 30 minutes, just as Rin ordered. Even if she arrives at the temple before Rin expects her to, she's not going against Rin's order. It's just that she will protect her master's life and go against Rin's expectation as a result. If the thing leaking out from the mountain is pollution, Saber is a raging wind that blows the pollution away. It should not take her a minute to get to the top. She'll be 5 minutes faster than what Rin is expecting. Maybe, because they keep saying that, like, Gilgamesh is the last one, but maybe Assassin's still around and he's actually going to be an unexpected roadblock and she's going to be delayed, and then Rin and Shiro are going to walk into it and Saber won't be there. She can end her fight against Gilgamesh in that time. She runs, enduring the mountain's chill. The silver armor shoots up the temple like a bullet. And when she finally reaches the mountain gate, I think so. Her feet, which should not stop, come to an unexpected halt. Sweat runs down her forehead. She looks up at the mountain gate in astonishment.
待っていたぞ。
Yeah.
よくぞ間に合ってくれた、セイバー。
I would have been so disappointed if Assassin wasn't around, because I'm like, man, he got even less screen time, it seems, than the first route. An elegant voice echoes through the night. But he's still protecting the mountain gate. No matter what, moonlight glints off the longsword. On the stairs leading up to the mountain gate stands an enemy who should not exist.
Assassin.
There's no elegance in Saber's voice. An enemy that should not be there, an obstacle that should not exist. She cannot be calm in the face of these surprises.
どうしたセイバー。私がいるのがそれほど不思議か。
Everybody just kind of forgot about you because you're that insignificant.
私はここの門番だとお前は承知しているはずなのだが。
His pleased voice is calm and composed. The swordsman is acting casually, even with the evil wind swirling about.
バカな。なぜここにいるアサシン。あなたはキャスターが呼び出したサーバントだ。キャスターが消えた今、あなたがとどまっているはずがない。
通常のサーバントならばそうであろう。だが私はちと特殊でな。この身を縛っているのは人ではなくこの土地なのだ。お前たちがマスターと呼ぶよりしろ。私にとってはそれがこの山門ということになる。
土地がよりしろだと。
うん。いかに魔術師といえど 実体を持たぬサーバントにサーバントは維持できぬ。サーバントのよりしろはこの時代のものでなければならぬらしい。女狐は私を呼び出し、よりしろにこの土地を選んだ。故に私はこの山門にのみ出現するサーバント。召喚者であるキャスターが滅びたところで、この山門がある限り消えることはない。もっともそれも日雇いに過ぎんがな。女狐が私に与えた魔力はおよそ20日分。その限度がいつかお前ならば見て取れよ。
Did they say it had been 10 days since the beginning of the Holy Grail War? Saying so, the swordsman raises his right hand. Inside his elegant kimono, his white arms transparent like glass.
アサシン、
Oh,
あなたは。
見ての通り、夜明けまで持たぬ身だ。
wants that fight with Saber.
20日の刻限などとうに過ぎている。ここまで持ちこたえたことこそ行幸と言えよ。
She looks up at the swordsman in astonishment. Neither enmity nor murderous intent is emitted from his sword. He just wishes for a fight. He's just like, I need something to do. I've just been kind of standing here. He's demanding a meaningless battle.
では、私と戦うために残ったというのですか、アサシン。
言わせるな、セイバー。口にすればつまらぬ言葉になり下がる。
He laughs. He can understand how he feels, but she does not have time right now. The other two will make it in time for the battle unless she hurries. No, in the worst case, they'll reach the temple to face Gilgamesh even before she does.
そこをどけ、アサシン。あなたに門番を命じたキャスターは消えた。もはや門を守る意味などあるまい。
Saber asks while she takes a step forward, but
いいな。もとより私に戦う意味などない。
Assassin points his sword at Saber, saying he will start the fight if she comes any closer.
そう戦う意味などない。私には初めから何もないからな。英霊としての誇りも望むべき願いもない。いや、そもそも私が呼び出されたこと自体が間違いなのだ。何しろこの身は佐々木小次郎などではない。
Okay, Saber's confusion reaches its limit. Sasaki Kojiro. It should be the true identity of this servant. But Assassin himself said he's a fake.
そう驚くことでもあるまい。佐々木小次郎というものはな、もともと正
We're
体の
gonna
な
get
い
to know
架
his
空
true
の剣士
identity.
なのだ。
Does he even know his true identity?
実在したとされるが、記された記録はあまりに不鮮明。ある剣豪の敵役として都合が良い過去を捏造された人々の記録だけで剣豪とされた人物だ。確かに佐々木小次郎という男はいただろう。物干し竿と呼ばれる長刀を持つ武芸者もいたはずだ。だがそれらは一個人のものではない。佐々木小次郎という剣士は引き立て役としてのみ作られた架空の武芸者であったはずだ。
架空の英霊ですが、あなたは。
そう佐々木小次郎だ。佐々木小次郎というからそれを被るに最も適した剣士が私というだけの話だ。私に名などない。読み書きなど知らぬし、名前を持つほど余裕のある人間ではなかった。私はただ記録にある佐々木小次郎の秘剣を披露できるという一点で呼び出された。
At least we're learning a little bit more about Assassin.
偽りのサーバントであるこの身は長くは持たぬ。故にキャスターも使い捨てとして扱った。そら意味など初めからないだろう。たとえここで偉業を成したところで報酬はすべて佐々木小次郎に与えられる。私には何も返ってこない。 無である私にとってあらゆることは無意味だ。この身は自分すら定かではない。佐々木小次郎という役柄を演じるだけの名のない使い捨ての剣士に過ぎぬ。
His longsword wavers. The fictional swordsman created by a fictional story blocks her way as if to fulfill his role.
だが、その私にも唯一意味があるとすれば、それは今だ。無名のまま死んでいった私に、もし望みがあったとしたら。
He must have dreamed of a match with a superior swordsman who he could not have been allowed to witness as a nameless swordsman.
アサシン。
She readies her sword. She cannot convince her enemy. The only way she can answer the swordsman who's prepared for his death is to fight him.
では始めよう。
It looks like this will always happen. We'll always have the final fight will be at the mountain. Saber will have to fight Assassin at some point.
なに、元より花と散る好み。その最後をそなたで迎えられるのであらば、これ以上の幕はあるまい。
His long sword moves. Saber's sword repels the strike like moonlight. His long sword wavers. She cannot match Gilgamesh if she uses up her powers here, but she cannot afford to hold back. No, she doesn't know if she can win even if she uses all her powers. His long sword gets more fierce with each blow. A fictional swordsman, a swordsman who can match a heroic spirit without a noble phantasm. She must settle her match with him right here and now. The mountaintop is near. We'll reach the back of the temple once we climb up this mountain. I think there's a big lake there.
見えた。あともう少し。
Tosaka pushes her way through the branches and runs up the hill. I keep watch on our surroundings as I follow behind her. And so, it greets us the instant we make our way up from the hill onto level ground. Yeah, I figured when they said it's. Oh gosh, we're gonna get to see the full...
な
Oh
んだ
god.
これは。
I was thinking we were gonna see his face, Shinji's face in it. Maybe we still will. A lump of meat is wriggling around. The thing in the middle of the lake spews out black blood and shakes as if asking for help. How big is that thing? Already as big as an island, the pile of flesh is slowly expanding. The clear water is now dirty and sticky like coal tar. All I can think when I look at that is Saya no Uta. And people who know, they know.
嘘だろ。あれが聖杯だっていうのか。
I avert my gaze, unable to stare directly at it. The air on this mountain is that thing's breath. The infinitely flowing magical energy is making that lump of meat explode, and the black blood is polluting the lake. The blood isn't just colorless energy. The black thing is a visible curse. Just looking at the black mud gives me chills. The curse seeps into my brain through my eyes, ordering me to die. That is all. Die, 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 die.
聞いてないぞ。あんなのどうやって。
Stop such a thing. The distance is about 30 meters. The lake's shallow and it'd be easy to walk in it, but it's suicidal to go into that mud. Just looking at the curse is almost enough to knock me unconscious. I'll weaken and sink into the mud if I walk a meter into it.
あれ、破裂寸前よ。元からああいう形なのかどうかは知らないけど、器があんまりにも小さすぎたんでしょうね。中のものを抑えきれず、器を壊して溢れ出ようとしてる。
器を壊すって、それは。
シンジが聖杯になってるなら、シンジを壊すってことでしょうね。ほら、見える？あの山の奥、なんか人型らしきものがあるでしょ。
I look where Tosaka's looking. Within the expanding pile of flesh, I certainly see something shaped like a human. He looks like he's been crucified. His clothes have been torn off, leaving him naked. Visible against his skin, the blood vessels writhe like centipedes, connecting him to the meat. It looks bizarre, as if grapevines took a human form.
シンジ。顔は見えないけど、あの背格好は間違いない。
そう。で、生きてる？
I can't tell. He's not dead, but I'm not optimistic enough to say he's alive in that condition.
息はある。体だってまだ。
I can't even say he has human limbs in a way.
やっぱりね。もともと今回の聖杯は人型だった。なら人間っていう部品を利用して動かすってことでしょ。シンジは合わないからああなったみたいだけど、基本的に聖杯は宿主に生きていてもらわないと作動しない。
けど、あれは破裂寸前なんだろう。核になっている神事を壊すって。
それは仕方なくよ。そうなったら聖杯も何もない。ただ聖杯によって開けられた穴からあの得体の知れないものが溢れてくるだけ。だから逆に言えばまだ間に合うわ。聖杯は起動しているけど、願望機っていう本来の姿になってなければ壊れてもいない。あの金ピカは穴だけを開けるって言ってたでしょ。あいつの目的は聖杯を起動させて器だけ壊すことなのよ。そうすれば
今みたいにあの得体の知れない泥が際限なく溢れ出てくる。
There's no time to think. We have to pull Shinji out of that thing and stop the Holy Grail. Feels like it's probably like, if it wasn't for the fact that we were doing this to stop the Holy Grail, I'd be totally fine with Shinji just, you know, staying like that and not trying to do horrible things to me.
トサカ、あの泥なんとかできるか。凍らせちまえば上を歩けそうだけど。
It'd be very awkward if they actually were able to save Shinji and they have to just go back to their life knowing that he tried to R-word her and kill her and also kill Shiro. Like, that's gonna be an awkward time back at school.
無理。ただの水ならいけるけど、あれはもう呪いに加工された魔力なのよ。形になった魔術を凍らせるなんて、そんなの氷結専門の術者でも難しいわ。
そうか。なら。
I guess I'll just have to pray and run through it. I'll cross the lake before I get cursed and bring back Shinji.
そのままで行く気？無理よ。あなたじゃいいとこ真ん中で飲み込まれるってば。
やってみなくちゃわからないだろう。もう時間がない。セイバーも今頃あいつと戦ってるはずだ。ここで躊躇している暇は。
I quickly turn moving to protect Tosaka.
これは驚いた。まさか三度もその不出来な顔を見るとはな。雑種。
I'll laugh. He appears here as if he knows of our plan.
ギルガメッシュ。嘘。なら誰と戦ってるのよ、セイバーは。
It seems Saber's fighting someone from what Tosaka's saying, but I can't tell who she's fighting, nor how she's faring. No, this isn't the time to be thinking about such things. The one before us is the worst possible enemy. He's the strongest servant, the one the three of us had planned to beat together. But only Tosaka and I face him now.
何？セーバーは不在か。つまらん。それではただ殺すだけか。
Coldness emanates from the sea of mud, and the man before me gives off a murderous intent. He already has the noble phantasms ready behind him. I'll be skewered the instant I carelessly take a step forward.
いや、それでは芸がないな。本来なら有無を言わせぬが、今回は特別に許す。せっかくの客だ。そのせいにわずかばかりの猶予をやろう。
猶予だと。
I clench my fist as I glare at the enemy. My magic circuit is open. I managed to form 14 blueprints in my head. I'll reproduce his swords once he clicks his fingers. I should be able to let Tosaka escape.
なんだ、言われなくてはわからんのか。眉が帰るまでの数分、そこでかかしになるがいい。あれも見届ける者が俺だけでは寂しかろう。この行く末を最後まで見届けるというのなら、そのせいにも意味がある。
I can't listen to him. Our goal is to stop the Holy Grail. We can still make it. We have to get Shinji back.
そうかよ。悪いがこっちは。
あんたの言いなりになんてならない。今すぐあの日会に行ってあんたの聖杯を止めてやるわ。
Then, Tosaka glares at Gilgamesh from behind me.
ほう、
He grins. He smiles like that when he decides to kill the one in front of him.
待てトサカ、それは。
シローはここであいつを止めて、無茶だって分かってるけどセイバーが来るまでなんとか持ちこたえて、シンジは私が責任を持って引っ張り出してくるから。
引っ張り出してくるって、お前。
分かってるわよ。あんなんでもさくらの兄貴だし、見殺しにはできないもの。
She's like, I don't want to do this.
助けられるのなら助けるのがシローの心情でしょ。
Tosaka runs to the Black Lake. Is she going to go into that mud? I love how he was like, well, I was gonna go do that, but she can't do that.
なんだその滑稽さは。俺を笑い死にさせるつもりか、貴様ら。
He laughs as if to look down at Tosaka's determination.
てめえ、何がおかしい。
なんだ、お前はおかしくないのか、雑種。とんだ三流どもだ。あの呪いの中を進むだと。サーバントですら耐えられぬ呪いの渦を人間風情が踏破できるとでも思ったか。
私の底を甘く見ないで。この程度の呪いで染まるほど弱くないわ。それにね、私たちはあんたみたいに反霊体ってわけじゃない。ちゃんと生身のある人間なんだから、むざむざ飲み込まれてたまるもんか。
It's an obvious bluff, but I'm sure Tosaka will make it across. As she says, Tosaka Rin isn't so weak as to lose to that curse.
そうか。ならば好きにしろ。もっとも、俺はそんな真似は許さんがな。
トレース。
A sword shoots forward. The sword flies through the air to pierce Tosaka's defenseless back.
オフ。
And it's slashed down by Concho. I breathe hard. I made it, even though I was prepared. This is the fastest projection I've ever done. It's probably thanks to Tosaka's magical energy. With this, I might be able to...
貴様。
He's like, not amused. Murderous rage fills his red eyes. The projection made him serious. Noble phantasms behind his back increase in number.
シロー、
I hear Tosaka's worried voice. I don't turn around but stare at my enemy with Concho in hand.
トサカ、シンジを頼む。
That's all I say.
任せて。すぐに連れ帰ってくる。
I hear a splashing sound. Tosaka goes into the mud without any hesitation. Then I'll protect her. I won't allow a single noble phantasm to get past me.
お前の相手は俺だ。トサカに手を出したかったら、まず俺を倒しやがれ。
I take a step forward. That must have gotten on his nerves. The golden servant takes his eyes off her and looks at me.
あの小娘はのたれ死ぬ。俺が手を下すのはあくまで慈悲だったのだが。
The noble phantasms point at me. He lets out a sharp, murderous intent.
その前に、貴様には思い知らせる必要があるようだ。薄汚い贋作者。その身をもって、真偽の違いを知るがいい。
He releases his treasures unsparingly. Alright, back to Saber. How's she doing? Oh, alright, oh, yep, there we go. We are back. Okay. A long sword slashes through the darkness. Saber is yet to be able to close in on her enemy that freely swings his longsword. Unable to dodge, she retreats. The distance between the two does not shrink. There's 1 meter between Saber and Assassin, but Saber is unable to climb the few steps. She bites her lip. She cannot waste any time. She surpasses him in power. She can overpower him if she uses her magical energy and her sword as a shield. Just one blow. She can overpower him if she can just withstand one blow. It can be her arm or leg. If she doesn't allow the wound to slow her, there will be no second attack. She can surely slash Assassin after she receives his blow. But if the attack is to come from her neck, she cannot overpower him. All of this servant's attacks are of that kind. All are meant to take her life. Retreat is the only defense against them. She cannot move forward because of the enemy's technique, and the geographical disadvantage does not allow her to move to either side. She cannot move forward because of those reasons. She must reach the temple alive. The two are fighting Gilgamesh even at this moment. They might die if she's late. No, in the worst case, they're all ready. She runs. She rushes upward, yelling as if to deny the ominous thought. The two weapons collide. For some reason, Assassin swings his sword not at the charging saber, but at the swinging sword.
ほう、さすがはセイバーの剣。数回程度ならば耐えられると思ったが、一撃で曲がるとは。
Sparks fly off. The swords try to push each other away.
受けた。アサシンが私の剣を。
Assassin's sword is fragile. It's a good sword that can even cut steel, but it is made by a human. It cannot even be compared to her sword that is not made by men. His long sword would be pulverized if he used his power to strike back the oncoming attack. That is why Assassin has parried the attacks and pushed back Saber by attacking her body instead of her sword until now. But Assassin blocked this attack. Assassin's sword cannot block Saber's attack no matter how strong he is. The long sword that blocked her attack is bent. There is no way it's as sharp as it was before.
勝てる。無傷でこの男に勝てるのか。
Saber asks herself while she pushes back Assassin's longsword. That question becomes an opening. There's a reason why Assassin blocked her sword. She's standing in that position before she realizes it. Their positions are different. They're now standing on the same level. Before she realizes it, Saber has been forced to fight sideways. It's just like before. They're standing on the same plane. This is the position he needs to execute his secret technique. Assassin is able to execute his demonic attack here. Tsubame Geishi. 3 arcing blades close in on the enemy from all sides, allowing no chance for defense or evasion. A chill runs up her back.
アサシン、貴様。
Saber stops pushing. She can push him back. She can push Assassin back with her strength, and follow up with a finishing blow, or run up to the mountain gate. But it will be the same either way. That attack will come the instant she pushes him away. It will end once he executes his technique. It does not matter if she runs up to him or if she turns her back and runs up the mountain. So she can't push him. She can only loosen up and match Assassin's push.
良いのか、力を弱めて。これならば、私の方からお前を弾き飛ばせるが。
Assassin stares at Saber in satisfaction. There's no inhumane emotion there. The swordsman is just fascinated by her eyes, trying to find some way out of this hopeless situation.
このために自らの武器を傷つけたのか、アサシン。
無論、拉致が開かぬのでな。これならば、以前のお前に戻ろうと思ってな。果たし合いの最中に、後のことなど考えるな。
She gasps. Assassin's words are not to insult her, but... The compound is burning, sounds of swords clashing and breaking. It is the sound of battle between Gilgamesh and Emiya Shiro.
どうやら縁も竹縄というところだな。こんなところで門前払いを受けている場合ではないぞ、セイバ
ー。アサシン。
She puts power into her arms. She puts magical energy into her sword to push her enemy back. But she cannot do it. She'll die once she does so. She'll fall into Assassin's trap when she gets away from it. Is she gonna have to be, like, forced to use Excalibur once, and then she'll have to rely on Shiro to take out Gilgamesh himself because she needs the other Excalibur to be able to destroy the Holy Grail? She grits her teeth in frustration. She puts magical energy into her sword without a plan. Then...
何を迷う。お互い、やるべきことは一つだろう。
The swordsman's voice is clear.
アサシン。
もとより、我らは役割を果たすためだけに呼び出された。私がこの門を守るように、
Is he just gonna let her go?
お前にも守るものがある。ならば、迷う隙などあるまい。 それにな、セイバー。時間がないのはお前に限った話ではない。
There is no lie in those words. Those are the first and last true words for the swordsman that fulfilled his role as a fictional character. That he would like for both of them to go all out on each other. The swordsman in front of her is telling her his only wish, his only compensation for being summoned into the world. Is he saying, like, use your noble phantasm on me? It's like, he's not going to let her pass. He's going to be like, if you need to protect them, then you need to do whatever you can to defeat me as fast as possible.
失礼をした。確かに、お互い時間はない。
She releases the magical energy in her sword. The merciless force pushes Assassin back. He slides back about 2 meters. Saber does not move even though she is within Assassin's best range. She doesn't run up the mountain gate, nor does she charge at Assassin. She releases the seal. Showing her sword, Saber confronts Assassin. There's no hesitation in her eyes. She'll use all her powers if need be. Her eyes state that she will use all her strength to defeat the enemy in front of her. There's nothing to talk about now. Fictional swordsman readies his sword.
いざ。
He greets his greatest enemy with his strongest technique. He struggles through the sea of tainted meat. The lake isn't even a meter deep. Chunks of flesh carpet the bottom, so she only sinks up to her knees.
この気持ち悪いにも程があるってのよ。
She grumbles as she breathes hard. Every step brings a chill as if she's treading on piles of insects. If she stops moving, the taint on her skin begins to solidify and consume her. She's like, I can't believe I'm doing this for Shinji of all people. She shakes it off with all her might and keeps going. It's almost impossible to keep wading through the rottenness while still keeping her sanity. After this, even slaughtering a cow shouldn't be a big deal. Tosaka Rin thinks so defiantly. So she's getting used to this work now. She's so tense that she'll stop moving when she stops treating this as work. But at least there's no mental damage this way. But she cannot endure it with just willpower. Her temperature rises with each step. The meat on her leg attacks her nerves instantly. Even if she flings it off, the poison has already entered her system. Curse. The malice is almost tangible and it feels like a disease. One will get sick when touched by it. It taints the nerve, takes away energy, boils the brain, and kills within 1 step. A normal person would stop moving after 2 steps and would fall into the sea of decay. She does not know what would happen after that. She doesn't even want to consider whether she'd be suffocated or absorbed into the poisoned flesh. Her mind is too overcome with heat even to think about it. She braces her staggering feet and keeps moving forward. Rin does not enter the pool of mud without a plan. She swallowed 2 jewels and is using all the magical energy she saved up to defend herself. This curse is a crystallization of pure magical energy. She should be able to repel it with strong magical energy of her own. Her vision wavers. Her guess was right, but her scale was off. The swallowed jewels are as good as a paper shield against the curse. This is not something a human can fight against. No human can ward off this curse. And here, one's belief in oneself is the only support of their life.
もうこれなら火の上に飛び込んだ方が涼しいのに。
With her jewel's protection, jumping into a sea of fire would be no problem. As soon as she complains, she gets angry at herself and sets her mind straight. It's not true. She cannot be complaining. She concentrates on the sounds behind her. She cannot see the 2 anymore. She doesn't know if Shiro moved the battleground away or if he's just cornered. Either way, it seems the fight has gone to the compound.
あと少し一気に行くからそれまで。
She runs. It's only as fast as walking, but she frantically moves her feet. She pushes her way through the tainted meat. Her breathing ragged, she reaches out. She climbs up. Oh, God, imagine touching that. Blech. You can feel the mountain of meat.
なんかこっ
And
ち
yet
のが
that's an
楽みたい。
improvement. She lays on the pulsating ground. This feels even nastier, but the heat violating her nerves goes away.
ちょっとこれもしかして。
He puts her finger on the red ground. It is the same as the black mud, but it has form. It's something that should not exist in this world. Something that came out of the Holy Grail and took form using magical energy.
サーバント。これサーバントと同じなんだ。
She murmurs in blank amazement. She tries to think what this could mean, but then stops herself. This isn't the time. There's only one thing she must do right now.
よし、回復した。さっさとシンジを見つけて、こんなところとはおさらばよ。
She gets up and runs along the top of the mountain of meat. It's an island about 50 meters wide. She could not tell before, but this lumpy meat is intertwined.
いた。
Within it all, Mato Shinji is there, hidden amongst the flesh. I like when they have, like, at the end, when you've got, like, 2 or 3 different stories happening and you just kind of interject into them to see what's going on. Like, just when, that way it never really gets boring, because you're always following, like, a different part of the story. I repel the oncoming swords. There are over 10 noble phantasms, and every one of them has been released to destroy me. I throw away the destroyed sword and prepare for the next attack. I catch my breath in an instant. I can't project with ragged breath, and I'll just be skewered if I don't have a weapon. This battle is not a battle against him. This is a battle against my body. I'll die once the speed and precision of my projection go down.
はっ、そうだ、休んでいる暇はないぞ。
In response to his voice, a straight sword points at me. A loaded noble phantasm is released at fatal speed.
トレス
Unable to deflect the full impact, I fall to the ground. I quickly roll to the side and get up, steadying myself.
どうした？質が落ちているぞ。わずか一撃で壊れるようでは複製とは言えんな。
He laughs. He's obviously enjoying this. There's no way for me to defend myself if he releases all the noble phantasms behind him. But he releases them one by one, as if to test how much I can take. It's like a cat playing with a mouse before he kills it. Because it wouldn't be fun if he did it too soon. But that's what's keeping me alive right now. It's too hard to project a weapon after seeing it, even with Tosaka's backup. I can only imitate the shape. I can't construct the ability inside of it so it gets destroyed within one blow.
やろ
He said I'm the only one who could beat him, but this is all I can do. I can't rush at him after I block his attack. 2, I'll need at least 2 weapons. But I'm having trouble projecting 1, so it's impossible for me to project 2 at once.
どうした？歯ごたえがあるのは口先だけか、フェイカー。
He must have liked seeing me roll around as he looks delighted. I catch my breath. It's fine as long as he's enjoying this. There's still a chance for me to win.
トレス
I look within myself, a limited circuit. I mentally lay out as many blueprints as I can. I can see 17 noble phantasms behind him. I read the structure from its appearance, draw out the concept of creation, select the composition material. Oh, uh-oh. I vomit blood. It's because I'm putting multiple blueprints inside a circuit that usually handles 1 or 2. My nerves are bruised since I started projection, and my body's being destroyed from within. My throat tries to pump out the blood that's filling my stomach.
良い経験共感終了
I swallow it and continue with the process. Konsho and Bakia cannot block his noble phantasms. Archer should be able to with his technique, but I don't have that much skill. There's only one way for me to block the noble phantasms. I need to offset them with the same exact ones. I still have enough magical energy. There's enough supply from Tosaka. But the circuit to channel it is about to break. The end is near. When he gets serious, I have to project the same number of noble phantasms as him to stay alive. but my body will die if I project that many.
工程完了。戦闘へ待機。
I save the overflowing images. The overflowing swords are ones that will pierce me from within. Emi Ashiro will be pierced from within if the circuit cannot be controlled.
ほう、今度は多いな。10、15、17。そうか。目に見える我の宝具を全て複製したわけか。なめるな。魔術師の手の内など看破できなくて何が英霊か。お前に働く魔術の数などそれこそ手に取るようにわかる。
His words are unexpected. The king of heroes that possesses thousands of noble phantasms can figure out my magic just by looking at me?
では採点だ。もっともいかに成功であろうと一本たりとも世には残さんが。
My reaction is delayed. His words caught my attention, creating a hopeless delay. 17 noble phantasms are released. King's treasures. A fraction of them charge in as if to tell me playtime is over.
停止解凍。戦闘へ連続走者。
My body wavers. The sword shooting forward, and the swords created from within me crash and shake the surroundings. I can't block all of them. Even if I project 17 noble phantasms, I can only give form to them one at a time. Even if I can form them in succession, I'm no match for him, as he can release all of them at once.
ガラス細工にしてはよく持つが、それもあと数撃か。そら、急いで真似ねば八つ咲きだぞ。
I hear him laughing behind the swords. 12 more enemy noble phantasms.
しかし、ほとほと愚行よな。俺には勝ち得ないと考え、聖杯だけでも取り外す判断は正しい。お前では我にはかなうべくもない。
My fingertips are burning. The magical energy I emit and the heat from the crushing noble phantasms burn my fingertips mercilessly. 7 more noble
だが
phantasms.
それならばあの男を殺してしまえばよかろう。聖杯を止めたいのであれば神事を始末することこそが確実だ。魔術師であるお前たちならばあの泥を越えずとも殺しようはあったろう。ふんだというのにまだ救おうというその偽善。
It's burning out. My circuit's completely burning off. I don't have enough. I can't match this man with a small circuit. Why can't I block them? He said I could beat him, so why am I not even a match? Does that mean I'm making a mistake? Oh, he's actually wavering. He always talks about how he believes in his choices no matter what, like to the very end, but now he's actually having some doubts. 3 more noble phantasms. Will my body last until I block them? No, I should be thinking about the difference between my projection and Archer's. Oh. All senses freeze at that instant. I don't even pay heed to the 3 approaching blades. The golden servant is taking out a sword. A strange sword. My mind burns up the instant I see it.
女を救うと言ったな、小僧。
He laughs while the sword roars. I eliminate 3 room. Okay, this was in. He went like in the first route, right? This was the sword he used against Saber. He laughs while the sword roars. I eliminate the 3 remaining blueprints in my circuit and concentrate on reading his sword. It's supposed to be, isn't it supposed to be like an unblockable sword? But of course she managed to defeat it. But I was able to read every sword, but I can't even read that sword structure.
ならば見せてみろ。その贋作で一体何が救えるのかを。
That's right, it's like the cyclone one. A storm of chaos. The wind emitted from his sword even blows away his own noble phantasms as it comes at me. My mind is still blank. I can't come up with any countermeasures, so I just release the remaining magical energy within me. Come on, Saber! Anytime now!
Iza.
And the swordsman readies his sword, the only stance for the man who does not have a stance. A fatal technique that cuts his enemy by simultaneously executing blows from different angles. She has experienced the move before. The previous one only had an arc to surround his enemy and a vertical slash. That was why she was able to avoid it and live up to this day. But the real technique has 3 slashes. A circular slash and a vertical slash, and probably a horizontal slash that cuts anyone that escapes sideways. There's nowhere to run if the 3 attacks are executed at once. Once in range, the other 2 attacks will cut you even if one is blocked. One cannot escape sideways. The longsword will reach out even if one retreats. Demonic technique Tsubame Geishi, a godly technique that even surpasses the servants. The ultimate attack, perfected by an anonymous swordsman using all his life. The longsword trembles. His body moves in with one step. The distance to attack Saber. Prison-like arcs are executed from a range that does not allow any defense. Saber does not use her holy sword. She cannot use her noble phantasm at this range. No matter how fast she may be, assassin Tsubame Geishi is many times faster. Her neck will be cut the instant she puts magical energy into her sword. Therefore, her only weapon is pure technique. The blade begins its arcs. She feels despair from its precision and speed. Such an attack. How much training was needed to get this far? Fear is the only thing on her mind. It cannot be blocked. This technique is a technique of carnage that challenges God with mere human skill. Only God would be able to block it. She gulps. There's a flash as small as a grain of sand. She does not think about what it is, nor if it's correct. She risks everything she has on her instinct. She charges at her victory with all her might. What did the fictional swordsman think of that? Silver armor passes through the gap beside his arm, the opening between the swordsman's left arm and his waist. Saber must have figured out the small opening is the blind spot of the technique. Even though the attack still chips off her armor, Saber curls up and flies through the opening. An exquisite skill that is only possible with her precognition, her great instinct. She was able to predict the true Tsubame Geishi since she experienced it once. But that's not the surprising part. It's her determination that kept her alive. She trusted her insight and put all her power into the slight opening. She shook off the fear she'd be slashed if she was even a moment late, and charged into the small opening. Therefore, her determination is the strength that defeated the demonic technique. Hell yeah! That was pretty cool. But the match isn't over yet. Even though Tsubame Geishi was avoided, her enemy is right beside her. She charged in with speed quicker than the attack. It's not easy to recover her stance from such a charge. The longsword strikes. The attack is the quickest, even if it may not be as quick as the demonic technique. But her attack is a bit quicker than his. He closes his mouth. He shuts his lips tight and tenses up so he'll not fall. Blood from his lungs fill his mouth, but he swallows it so it will not spill out. The golden-haired girl is below him. The way of the swordsman does not allow him to dirty her with his blood. Saber does not say anything. Her golden hair flutters down to the ground. It's a wonder her head is still attached. It's a miracle her limbs are still attached. She felt her body would be slashed the instant she went into that opening. That's really cool. I can't remember how she took him out last time. This feels like, I don't know, like a true, like a swordsman fight, right? It's like you had the one chance, you both come at each other, you got the one shot, and that's it. It's all determined in one blow. That was the only difference. The longsword. The swordsman technique would have stayed invisible if his longsword had not been bent. Oh. Shit, so he ended up doing that to give himself an advantage about, like, taking on that attack to bend his sword, but if he hadn't done that, then he might have succeeded. That's pretty cool. The air is shaking. Another battle is still going on behind the mountain gate. And she didn't have to use Excalibur. I was so sure that she was going to have to, like, run into the final battle with Gilgamesh at a disadvantage, and then it was going to be up to Shiro to use, like, his Noble Phantasm, or to, you know, to replicate it in order to stop Gilgamesh, since Saber wouldn't be able to do it. Unsure of what to say, Saber looks up at the dying swordsman. To that,
Yuke.
the swordsman tells her without looking at her. How much meaning was contained in that word? Saber pulls out her sword and runs up the stairs. She does not turn back to the swordsman. She runs to fulfill her role.
美しい小鳥だと思ったのだがな。その実、獅子の類であった。
He murmurs as if that was to be expected. She avoided something that even a sparrow could not avoid. So she cannot be something that is admired.
女を見る目には自信があったのだが、どちらも修行不足ということか。
The swordsman complains with a shrug. His elegant clothing has lost its colors already. His stomach is pierced and his blood-stained feet are vague. He looks down at them and sits. The branches shake. The wind coming down from the top of the mountains rustles the forest. And when the flowers scatter, the wind stops and the moon darkens. The swordsman has disappeared without a trace, as if his existence was just an illusion. Alright, there we go. We've defeated the smaller boss, and now we're in the main boss, the final boss now. At that instant, I developed the strongest weapon I have projected, but it doesn't even serve as a shield. A sword of separation. The mysterious sword cuts through the wind, destroys 6 noble phantasms, and cuts my body apart. It's disappearing. The circuit is disconnected, and Tosaka's magical energy disperses without a place to go. I curse my worthlessness. I knew that I'm unskilled. I curse myself for never thinking twice. Why is that all the magical energy I have? Just a bit more. If I could reach into that darkness just a bit more, I could have fought like him. I fall to the ground. I fly through the air and crash to the ground with great force. I don't feel pain from the landing. I don't have such a sense anymore. Even my mind is going blank. Before I die, the only thing filling my head is the surprise that my limbs are still attached.
そこまでか。やはり偽物は偽物だったな。お前では何も救えない。
My heartbeat gets weaker. My lungs do not move, rendering me unable to breathe.
これならば、アーチャーが残った方が楽しめた。奴も贋作者だったが、その理念は俗物ではなかったからな。
I can't see anything, but it seems it's not because my eyes are broken. My organs are just too messed up to function as they should. Maybe it's fortunate. I don't have any sense of pain, so I should be able to die easily.
ああ、そういえば奴も言っていたな。お前の理念は借り物だと。自身から生み出したものが一つとしてない男が何かをなそうなどと、よくも思い上がれたものだ。
I can't do that. Even if I might go crazy from the pain, I need to regain my consciousness. The deep part of me says so as it points to that place.
正義の味方？誰も傷つかない世界だと？おかしなことを。誰も傷つかず幸福を保つ世界などない。人間とは犠牲がなくては生を謳歌できぬ獣の名だ。平等という綺麗事は闇を直視できぬ弱者のざれ事に過ぎぬ。雑種、お前の理想とやらは醜さを覆い隠すだけの言い訳に過ぎん。
I raise my arm, which should not be moving. my fallen body, and my dying mind. I raised my hand to grab something like I did on that day. Oh, maybe instead of like Carrie coming like in view of him as he was dying as a kid, it's gonna be Saber is going to save him. I don't know what's funny, but someone's laughing. It seems like everyone in this world is laughing. A fake wish, a borrowed ideal. Someone scorning me, saying my dream won't come true. Yes, that's exactly right. My wishes are all borrowed. I just admired the wish of wanting to help someone because it's beautiful. So there's nothing that came from within me. My body's always been driven by a curse-like obsession with helping others. That's why it's a fake. Such an imitation cannot save anything. Oh, it's just like he's an imitation, like he can only make imitation things with his ability. His whole ideal is an imitation of somebody else. It's like, is anything about him his own? First of all, I'm not sure what needs to be saved. But I still felt that it's beautiful. It was not born from within me. I just saw someone save others and copied that behavior. I was empty back then. Everyone died and I couldn't save anyone. I could not bear the fear in front of me unless I gave up, saying that humans are weak. That's why. That's why I admired the ideal, because it was something I didn't have, and its sanctity brought tears to my eyes. Is that wrong? Is it a fake if it's not mine? Even if my wish is fake, is it wrong for it to come true? No, I don't think it's wrong. I don't care even if it is fake. I'll make it come true even if it's an impossible ideal. It's an impossible wish from the start, an unreachable utopia. Then even if Emiyashiro is a fake, what's there has to be true.
そうだ。そんなこと、とっくに。
I know I can't save everything. I know that there's no help without sacrifices. I know that reality is like that because I became an adult. I know it's only an ideal, but I still continue to seek it. It's not the end after someone gets hurt. Even if the best possible outcome is someone get hurt to save many others, I still want to pursue a resolution where nobody's hurt. That there is no justice in this world, and that people die meaninglessly in reality. I don't think such words are right. And he reaches this place at the end. What I believe in, what I believed in. He said they're all a fake. But the one who said so followed through on his hypocrisy. Then I can keep going. I don't care even if it is a fake. First of all, I'm too simple-minded to worry about such a thing. I make up my mind on this hill of swords. That if I can save the world in front of me, I will fight for it. I didn't even need to think about it. My world is small. This small world is all I've ever been able to create. That's right, this body of mine is made of firm swords. So I can endure most things. Emiyashiro can keep his dream until the very end, even if what I seek is nowhere. Hey, there's the badass music, heck yeah. We're not done
それ
yet.
だけのことじゃないか。
I raise my body. I can move my limbs again as soon as my consciousness returns. My body still moves. It's a wonder that I'm still alive, let alone moving after his attack. But I don't care. If I'm alive, there must be a reason why. It's just that I don't know why.
直前に盾を敷いたのか。出し惜しんだとはいえ致命傷だったはずだが、存外にしぶといな小僧。
出し惜しみそんだけ山ほど持っておいて今さら何を惜しむってんだ。
I keep my distance while I catch my breath. I know how to do it now. I should be able to do it with the backup from Tosaka. The problem is the casting. Even though I have it memorized, I don't know how fast I can get it working until I try.
今のは覇者にのみ許された剣だ。強が乗ったゆえ見せてやったが、本来雑種などに使うものではない。エアと打ち合う権利を持つ者はセイバーだけだ。お前のような偽物に使ってはセイバーに合わせる顔がない。
Numerous noble phantasms appear, but they're all third-rate. The difference is obvious after seeing that previous sword. but they're not something I can take lightly. They're more than enough to kill me. The difference in our powers is the same. Even though I managed to survive the previous attack, I cannot match that servant with my projection.
ほう、真似事はおしまいか。ようやく無駄と分かったらしい。ならば潔く消えるがいい。偽物を作るその頭蓋、一片たりとも残しはせん。
Noble phantasms are released. Hey, there she is. But
シロ
a blue rushing wind repels them.
セイバーか。
Gilgamesh jumps back instantly. Even Gilgamesh is cautious against Saber. He wants to avoid hand-to-hand combat with her, as his technique is inferior.
よかった。無事ですか、シロ。遅くなりました。あとは私が受け持ちます。シロは離れて。
いや、ギルガメッシュ
Oh
は
my gosh.
俺一人で何とかできる。
Of course he will.
離れるのはそっちだ、セイバ
Dude, you almost died. Like, come on, maybe take a breather. Maybe let Saber fight a little bit. He's gonna be, of course, be like, go save your master.
何を言うのです、シロ。その体で彼の相手をすると。いえ、そもそも魔術師ではサーバントには太刀打ちできない。それはあなたもよく知っているでしょう。
ー。ああ、けど俺とあいつだけは例外だ。信じろ。
Yeah, he's like, I'm built different.
俺はきっとあいつに勝てる。
Oh, that's gotta be like the ultimate insult to Gilgamesh to be like, just like the human being like, yeah, I can take him. You move along, Saber. I don't need you. It's okay. Saber gasps. I love that expression on his face. Like, he looks so done. Saber's surprised because she believes my words.
セイバーは境内の裏に急いでくれ。遠坂が一人で聖杯を止めてる。けどあれを壊せるのはセイバーだけだ。
She closes her eyes once. A few seconds. No, it's not even for a second.
ご分を。リンは私が必ず。
She says what I want to hear the most and steps away from Gilgamesh. Her silver armor turns
セイ
away.
バー、
I stop her just once.
お前を救うことが俺にはできなかった。
And I say it. I say it in place of the one who cared for her.
あの聖杯はお前が望んでいるものじゃないと思う。だからよく見極めておくんだ。次は決して間違えないように。
シロ、
ごめん、うまく言えない。俺はお前のマスターにはふさわしくなかったんだろう。だから
I couldn't even figure out your true desire.
そんなことはない。シロは私のマスターだ。
セイバ
サーバントとして責務を果たしてきます。伝えたいことはその後に。
She runs without turning back. She's gallant and looks like the wind. Saber has left. She believed in my promise that I would win and went to save Tosaka. Let's start, hell yeah. I have no hesitation now. All that's left is for me to defeat the enemy in front of me.
正気か貴様。ただ一つの勝機を逃し、あの小娘を助けさせるだと。たわけめ。自らを犠牲にする行為など全て偽りに過ぎぬ。ああ、それだけは称えてやろう、小僧。
The noble phantasms are set. There are about 30 of them. If I want to block them, I'll have to create it.
ー、贋作、偽善者か。別にそういうのも悪くない。確かに俺はフェイカーだからな。
I raise my arm. I close one eye and look inside of me.
勘違いしてた。俺の剣聖っていうのは剣を作ることじゃないんだ。そもそも俺にはそんな器用な真似なんてできっこない。
That's right. Tosaka said it too. I can only use one kind of magic. Strengthening and projection are just a byproduct of it.
そうだ。俺にできることはただ一つ。自分の心を形にすることだけだった。
I grab my right hand with my left and stare at Gilgamesh.
体は剣でできている。
I cast the spell. Casting is only a suggestion to change myself. These words are to connect Emiyashiro.
そうか。よまいごとはそこまでだ。
And numerous noble phantasms are released. I'll make it. This is why one of my eyes is open. I pull out a shield from the hill to block the oncoming noble phantasms. Oh, it's the flower one that he did. It's the flower shields that he used against Lancer, right? A swarm of swords batter against the shield. The shield is me, myself. My body breaks up as each petal of the shield is pierced and damaged.
塩は鉄で心はガラス。
There's only one place I need to reach. The flowing power fills me to capacity in an instant.
なに？
What caused his shock? Is it his noble phantasms that cannot penetrate through a single shield? Or is the magical energy in front of him?
幾度の戦場を越えて腐敗。ただの一度の敗走もなく、ただの一度の勝利もなし。
It breaks. The overflowing magical energy cannot be controlled. Magical energy 10 times the capacity of the circuit breaks its foundations, trying to escape.
突破できんだと？
Blood trickles from my mouth. The shield is full of holes now. Even though the noble phantasms did not reach me, my body is full of holes. But still,
担い手はここに一人。剣の丘で鉄を打つ。
the magical energy rages around, but I don't care. This body is a circuit specialized to use this one magic from the start. Then there should be more. There should be something beyond this if I can't make it with this circuit. No, it's already there. It's just that I can't see it. There was no limitation to the circuit from the start. If it was darkness, not a wall that stopped the magical energy, then the limit somewhere beyond the darkness.
ならば、我が生涯に意味はいらず。
Magical energy 10 times the capacity of the circuit breaks its foundations trying to escape, and I use 100 circuits to take in 1,000 times the capacity.
この体は無限の剣でできていた。
I cast the true name at that instant. Everything breaks and everything reforms. Come on, let's get a cool CG of Shiro looking like badass right now. Fire runs. The fire becomes a wall and creates a border, changing the world. A desolate land remains, a hill with numerous swords. What does he think of the scenery? The golden serpent stands there with a gruesome expression.
そうだ。剣を作るんじゃない。
Oh, did he use the reality marble? Because he said about, like, this is a world of swords and stuff that he's seeing right
俺
now.
は無限に剣を内
Okay.
包した
So
世
yeah,
界を
reality marble creates, like, they're in a different world
それ
right
だ
now.
けがエミやシロに許された魔術だった。
A desolate land. A graveyard of swords devoid of life. Every sword exists in this world, as swords are reproduced just at a glance. There we go. This is Emiyashiro's world. A reality marble. It is the greatest forbidden magic that embodies the caster's internal world. This is heroic spirit Emiya's noble phantasm. It's the only weapon I possess. Everything is here, and nothing is here. That is why it is called Unlimited Blade Works. This is the only definitive answer obtained by the one who lived as a sword all his life.
こういう結界。それが貴様の能力か。
I take a step forward. Stuck in the ground next to me are the swords that are floating behind Gilgamesh.
驚くことはない。これは全て偽物だ。お前の言う取るに足らない存在だ。
I reach out my arms. The swords come out as if to accept me as their
だ
user.
がな、偽物が本物にかなわないなんて道理はない。お前が本物だと言うなら、ことごとくを凌駕して、その存在を叩き落とそう。
I move forward. In front of me is the serpent with 1,000 treasures.
行くぞ英雄王。武器の貯蔵は十分か。
思い上がったな雑種。
The enemy opens the gate and readies numerous noble phantasms. I run across the deserted land. The two groups of swords start the final match. Oh, status screen updated. Oh, is this going to be maybe about Shiro himself?
あれは
Let me check real quick. Status. Wait. Archer. Okay. Emiya. This is Emiya Shiro, who became a hero through a miracle, a blacksmith hero who can use reality marble without penalty to forge numerous weapons. Other details are unknown. Okay. Infinite sword creation, a special magic called a reality marble which Archer is able to use. Can duplicate any weapon he sees, but the duplicated weapon has its rank reduced by 1. Defensive equipment is also possible, but it requires 2 to 3 times as much magical energy. The first thing Saber sees after getting to the lake is a giant mountain of meat. She's not a normal knight. She fought many monsters back when she was called a hero. She has even fought dragons, considered the strongest of the fantasy races. But even Saber falters against this mountain of meat. It is not because of its ugliness. It's because she can tell the lump of meat and the curse flowing out of it are the same as her.
サーバント召喚を間違えればサーバントとはあそこまで変わるものなのか
Or is it the power of the Holy Grail? She stares at it and shakes her head.
リンどこにいるのですリン
She runs to the lake and yells to the other side. She's hesitant to enter the black mud. It's not because it would be unpleasant. Her instincts tell her that as a half-spirit, she cannot touch it. She hears a voice. It's weak, but she hears her master. She looks at the mountain of meat and...
リン
She steps forward without hesitation.
待ったダメセーバーは入ってこないで
Saber stops. She stops her feet and glares at the mountain of meat while holding up her sword.
リンですがいいからダメその泥に触れたらあなただってこうなるわよいいからセイバーはそこで宝具の準備をしてこの塊はもうすぐ弾けるわその前に宝具でぶった切っちゃって
Saber cannot nod to her master's words. She can tell the lump of meat is about to hatch. The squirms are turning into throbs and the meat is spreading. Or sorry, the mud is spreading even further. The lake is turned black and the mud is spilling onto the ground. That thing is growing. The world's restraining power will be activated if that thing is left alone. Is she hesitant because she's gonna kill Rin with her noble phantasm if she's still there? It's natural for her to destroy it with her holy sword. Like, killing your master goes against, like, everything that, you know, she believes in. But to do that...
リン外に池にさえ出てしまえばあとは私が
Oh god, is Rin gonna sacrifice herself? To basically be like, you need to... Because after she argued with Emiya so much about, like, you sacrifice yourself, you always put others before yourself, is she about to do the same thing? Like, you know, I have to die in order to save other people. So it's like she's finally accepted what Emiya has been saying, and she's going to do the same thing. That would be so sad if we built up this relationship with her and Shiro, and then she ends up dying.
いいよねオッケー任せたけどもし間に合わなかったら間に合う方を取ってセイバーとの契約は切れちゃうけどシローが無事ならなんとかなるでしょ
Yeah, she's like ready to sacrifice herself.
バカなことを構いません何に変わろうがこのような呪い蹴散らして
Saber runs to the black mud so she could get to that lump of meat. But her body does not move. Her body stops when she tries to go near the lake.
リンレイジョ
Oh, Rin.
当然でしょ聖杯を壊せる唯一の人材をむざむざ死なせるわけにはいかないもの
Yeah, she feels like she went into that lake knowing that she's might not make it out.
それに心配無用だってば
Okay.
この程度簡単に振り切って逃げ出すから
With Rin, I can never tell
セ
if
イバーはそこ
she's...
で大船に乗ったつもりで政権の準
If
備を
she
してなさい
honestly believes that she can make it out, or if she's just saying that to placate Saber and make her feel better about it. Because, like, there's been some times where, like, you can see in Rin's head when she's talking, and she's thinking herself, like, she doesn't fully believe that she's going to be able to overcome the obstacle, but she puts on a confident face and like a confident like expression. She sounds calm and composed like always. It does not need to be said, it's just a bluff. Yep, there we go. Just exactly what I said. The island of meat on the other side. There's nowhere for her master to run.
なんてね。まあ、言うはやすしってやつだけど。
And of all people, she has to save this douche. Like, potentially die for this guy. She murmurs while being surrounded by arms made of meat. The situation is hopeless. Mato Shinji was saved. She ripped off the blood vessels and nerves connected to the meat to let Shinji out. One can say he's alive, ignoring all the after effects he may have. Now, he looks like he's just unconscious, so one could say he's healthier than the girl carrying him.
問題はその後か。そりゃ心臓取られちゃ暴れるわよね。シンジを返せば見逃してくれるかな。
And she's also going with the whole thing, just like with Emiya, with Shiro, where he tries to save everybody, and that's what she's doing. Like, she's trying to save Shinji. She slowly moves while she stares at the tentacles blocking her way. But there's no exit. The tentacles are blocking the way out to the lake. Even if she escapes the tentacles trying to swallow her, she'll not be able to get past that wall.
まず力が。
She almost follows along with Shinji, but desperately keeps herself up. She went through the cursed sea and even performed neurosurgery to separate Mato Shinji from the Mountain of Meat. She went as far as using her reserve magical energy that she hasn't used for ages, but...
もうあのバカ。遠慮なしで人の魔力持ってくんだから。おかげでこっちはもうすっからかんじゃない。
Maybe at some points, maybe Shiro will come in and help save her. I also know too that there is like the two potential endings. I don't know what they are, so I have no idea. This is just a guess of like there's the, I believe there's the good end and there's the true end. So maybe the good end is her making it out, but maybe the true end is her sacrificing herself, or vice versa. She bears the dizziness as she complains, but she's not serious, and it wouldn't matter even if she did have more power. The tentacles around her are not moving because their target is standing still. They should react right away once they find out the thing in their body is poison. Hosaka Rin and Mato Shinji are alive because they don't have magical energy to be consumed.
けどここまでかな。いい加減立ってるのも辛く。
So I believe I'm doing the true ending right now. So I have a feeling that she might die, and then maybe the good ending is her getting to survive. Her vision becomes hazy. Even though she has a foothold, she's still in the mud. Her nerves are getting further infiltrated with each passing second. She'll become the new core of the Holy Grail as she falls down onto the meat. But before that...
ごめんね、セイバー。言うこと聞かないだろうから、無理やり聞かせる。
She has one more command spell. That's enough for her to order Saber to use her holy sword.
あと、あんたにも謝っとかないと。
Yeah, she's gonna sacrifice herself.
シンジ、助けられ、なんか。
いいから走れ。そのような泣き言。聞く耳持たん。
Archer! Archer! She stops her collapsing body. That voice. The voice coming into her head is definitely that of the servant she'd made a contract with. What? There's no time to waste. She knows his personality all too well. He told her to run, so he must have done something that she won't escape, unless she does as she's told. What? What is happening here? What in the world? Okay, of all the things that were gonna happen, this is not what I expected. He runs. The arrows coming down from the sky are literally a heavy rain. They destroy the tentacles, the ground, and everything in her path. What is... Huh? There's no time to turn back. She runs full speed while carrying Shinji. She jumps into the lake. The arrows have swept the black mud away to make her an escaper. Wait, so If this is the archer, like the actual archer, the heroic spirit, like he died, huh? It is only for a short while, but there's only dirty water between her and the opposite shore. She runs across the lake while carrying Mato Shinji. She runs with all her might, mud splashing around her.
Saber! Onegai!
Her magical energy replies to the yelling voice. There's no need to check. The golden sword mows down everything in its path with its overwhelming power. The mountain of meat is cut in half and breaks down. Okay, well, that did not go at all how I expected. I thought it was going to be like this big sacrifice moment. It was all sad. She had taken the lessons of Shiro that she had fought so hard against to try and make him see that what he was saying was like unreasonable about saving one person or trying to save everybody and sacrificing yourself. And then she was about to do that very thing. But no, the archer just came and got her out, and now it got destroyed. The black mud evaporates and the light turns the lake into a flat field. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy she got out, but I'm like, I kind of liked my idea of the story, but that could be the other ending. It is a waterfall of light that illuminates everything. Bathed in the light, the swordsman accepts that her battle has ended. I mean, I'm glad that he somehow came back, but I have questions.
私の戦いは
And now Saber's
こ
gonna
こまで
leave.
です。
Aw. Who did she say that to? The wielder of the holy sword is on her knees and watches the light with a flood of emotions. The holy grail is breaking down. The thing she sought, the thing that should have saved her. She destroyed it with her own hands and finally realized her mistake. One boy and one hero. The man that got twisted at the end of his ideal was still a boy. His regrets are so heavy that they cannot all be carried. His crimes are so deep they cannot be atoned for. But there was something he did not give up on. The knight in red finally arrived at an answer at the very end. Then she had to move forward as well. The end where she took her hands off of the sword. She will run past that hill under her own will.
契約は完了した。あなたたちの勝利だ、リン。
The holy sword fades away. She still has some magical energy left. She can stay in this world if she pushes herself. She can. She'd like to see what awaits them in the end.
ですが、それは私の役割ではない。シローにはリンがついていますから。
Her body continues to disappear, and the knight vanishes from the world as if engulfed by the light. Oh, that's so sad that Shiro didn't get to see her off this time. But this isn't her story. This is Rin and Shiro's story. More, yeah. But, I mean, Archer came at the very end to help out, like a brave gust of wind. The king that sought the Holy Grail sets off for the Hill of Destiny without leaving a trail of memories behind. So let's go back to the other fight. What happened there? Yeah, here we go. I oppose the long sword with the long sword. The swords break each other and its shards are sent flying. A curved sword appears behind him. But I pull out the curved sword by my feet faster than him, and I swing it straight at him. Gilgamesh retreats. I close the distance at once, pull out a sword and slash at him. I crash my swords against the appearing noble phantasms. I'm not thinking. My body and mind will fail if I stop. That's why I'll keep moving forward. The instant I see his noble phantasm, I reel in the exact same one and swing it with all my might. Like, Gilgamesh isn't exactly a swordsman, right? Like, he uses his weapons at a distance. So when he's in close combat, he's not at his strongest. The sounds of swords crashing echo through the area. He cannot handle my attacks and has to destroy my weapon with his. That will be the cause of his defeat. He's the greatest heroic spirit as he has over 1,000 noble phantasms at his leisure. But he's only an owner. He doesn't have one weapon, so he's not a wielder who can use his weapon to its maximum potential. Even in this world, I'm no match against any other servants. I cannot match the ultimate one, even with infinite swords. Gilgamesh must have the ability, but I do not. Therefore, this is the only servant I can match. As we have the same ability, as we are both owners, I am always one step ahead of him, since my swords are there ready to be used.
おのれおのれおのれおのれおのれおのれおのれおのれ貴様風情によもや俺の剣を使うことになろうとは
Gilgamesh raises his hand. The sword appearing behind him is the demonic sword, the only sword that does not exist in this world.
させるか
Oh. I swing my twin swords. The Konsho and Bakiai reel and slice off Gilgamesh's arm that tries to reach for his sword. Hell yeah. The weapons stop. His arm and sword fall to the ground, leaving him defenseless. My body acts before I can think. Confident in my victory, my limbs move to slash the King of Heroes. He jumps back, barely avoiding the twin swords. Gilgamesh retreats still further.
今はお前が強い
Gilgamesh admits his defeat and tries to retreat.
安かってんだ
I won't let him escape. I'll lose if he regains his composure. I have to settle the match right here.
この野郎
He must have realized he'll not be able to escape as he pulls out a noble phantasm from behind him. But I'm faster. I'll surely... Oh?
何
Our voices overlap. The change happens in an instant. The light coming from the lake eliminates the Hill of Swords. Oh, right, because the Holy Grail was destroyed, right? So that's... GG, game over. A great magical energy has smashed away the already disappearing reality marble. That's fine. The match is settled. I can beat the servant by slashing him with my twin swords. But after the reality marble is blown away... A black void. A void big enough to swallow a human being. It appears before me, right on Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh looks down at his body in astonishment. His body is being swallowed. The golden servant is swallowed by the void appearing on his body. Is it because, like, he wasn't technically supposed to be here? He was here because of the whole thing with the last Holy Grail War, so maybe with the Holy Grail destroyed, like, he can't be in this world anymore. Well, none of the servants should be in the world after the Holy Grail is destroyed, so he's like, bye, peace out. Did he want to say, wait? The void mercilessly swallows the servant. There is no way for him to escape. The void was open on his body. There is no way one can escape something that is on their body.
今のは一体
I stand there dumbfounded. The void in front of me is shrinking. I don't know what this is, but it seems Tosaka and Saber were able to destroy the Holy Grail. Wait, is this... I think the void just happened, right? Maybe this is Archer? Did Archer somehow, like, he's gonna come back and have final words to say to Shiro? My only guess is the after effect creating the Black Void, or created the Black Void, to eliminate Gilgamesh.
ともかくこれで
Everything's over. My twin swords disappear. The magical energy in me fades away.
やば
And at the same time, fatigue assails me.
くそまずいなこれじゃ歩けない
I want to go see how Tosaka's doing, but my body will not move. Well, I'm sure she'll be alright, since Saber went to go save her.
そうだなこっちも少しは
I can rest a bit, and after I take a deep breath... Oh! Whoa! We're not done yet! We're not done yet. Okay, Gilgamesh is coming back to take him with him. A chain wraps around my arm. Oh, goddamn. Alright. I was thinking, I was like, that was kind of an anticlimactic ending. We're not done yet. I gasp. The chain drags my body towards the void. I put power into my body, but I can't resist. My feet slide across the ground towards the void.
あの出来損ないめ同じサーバントでは核にならんとさえわからぬかお前
He is appearing from the void, but his body is melted here and there, so that void must melt everything it swallows. I try to get the chain off of me, but it doesn't budge. This chain even restrained Berserker. It's not something I can pry off. Wait, Saber has one more, she's got one more ability to use. Wait, did she, oh, I can't remember. Did she use the other one in the fight with, I think she did use up all of her, yeah, because she disappeared, she's gone. So we're effed. I was like, does she have one more, Noble Phantasm in her? I'm being pulled towards it. Toslok, if you could help, that'd be great. I'll be swallowed like him if I go near the void. Archer, you came to save, you know, Rin. Maybe you could save me too, even though you hate me.
道連れにするつもりか。たわけ、死ぬつもりなど毛頭ないわ。踏みとどまれゲロー。俺がその場に戻るまでな。こいつ。
He's arrogant even in this situation. But what can I do? I can't get this chain off of me. I'll be swallowed into that void along with him. Even if I hold my ground, he'll pull himself out. It means I'm going to die either way. Oh, snap! Oh, I wasn't expecting another... Okay. I wasn't expecting another choice here. Okay, let's save... okay, so I'm checking the thing really quick. So there is, that's right, there's one final Tiger Dojo, so we're gonna get that real quick. I'll at least take him with me. If I'm going to die either way, I can't let him escape. I wrap the chain further around my arm. I grab onto the chain so it won't let me go. I don't resist the pull and throw my body into the void. I roll down. This also feels like a very Shiro thing to do, is to sacrifice himself. Like, you know, if he comes back into the world, that's bad. So, like, sacrifice myself so he can't come out. I fall into the eternal darkness while my body's being melted away. A black mud that melts my skin, shaves off my flesh, and removes my bones. My body is taken away, and the soul called Emiya Shiro falls into the darkness. Is it because the fall was so long? I feel like I'm going up after a while, and... I swallowed by a big, grail-like sun. Oh, that's it? Oh, man, I was hoping for a little bit more than that. Oh boy, that's dark. Haven't had one of these in a while.
Shock! まさかこのタイガー道場を見るつわものがおろうとは。おー、シロ死んでしまうとは情けない。
What can I say? I'm a completionist.
アドバイスなどありません。急いで選択肢に戻って最後の決着をつけちゃいなさい。
はーい、みんな元気？タイガがいなくなった隙にフェイとちょっといい話。みんなリンルートのグッドエンドの生き方すっごく分かりづらくて困ってるよね。ここはそんなあなたのためのヒントコーナーです。今回は特別に先輩をお呼びしました。先輩、ズバリどうやったらグッドエンドに行けるんでしょうか。3日目夜に連れ戻す。
Bring back on the third night.
5日目朝に様子を見る。
Go see how she's doing on the fifth morning.
8日目放課後に喜ばせる。10日目夜に道場で話し、15日目夜に道場。
I love how she's just so over it.
ズバリすぎっす先輩。
Yeah, so we need to go to the dojo to check up on Saber for the good end. So that's what she's... I think I've done everything else correctly. I just need to go to the dojo on day 15 to get the good end.
これを全部抑えればいいっすね。ダメ。抑えるのは4つ。うち2つばかり選ばなくていいのが混ざっている。 セイバーにかまけてると12日目を超えられない。おし、ありがとうございました。そういうことらしいんで、余裕があったら3日目からやり直してみてね。
I hope I don't have to go back to the third day. Alright guys, so I'm gonna end it here. Sorry for it stopping at such a weird spot. But I figured with the amount that's left of the true ending, if I played the whole thing through, it would be a very long episode, which I know you guys are fine with, but I figured that the good ending, there probably isn't going to be enough difference in the good ending versus the true ending to make it enough for it to have its own episode. So I figured what I will do for the next episode is finish this route, the true ending, and then I'm also going to add the good ending onto that episode. So next episode is going to be the finale for the true end, and then the entirety of the good ending, if that makes any sense. So hopefully you guys are excited for it. Like I said, I have watched ahead to the end of the true ending, and I'm pretty satisfied with it. I think it's a pretty good ending. Is it better than Fate? I don't know. I'll have some thoughts about that. I'll discuss that in the next episode, but hopefully you enjoyed this one. This was definitely action-packed and pretty epic, and the finale is also pretty good as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and see the conclusion to the true ending and the good ending for Unlimited Blade Works next week. Until then, guys, bye. Special shoutouts to my top-tier patrons: Emily Hornsby, Salieri, Zoran Ether, Amdere, Revealing Storm, Icognito, Asborn Kennedy, Harry Gazif, Jared Fan, and Saturn Sins.